Welcome to the all-new That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. New episodes air each weekday morning, 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com. And you can also find us on iTunes and on YouTube. And we want to hear your story, too. Visit tbsinterview.com. Each and every morning, we talk with different business professionals and entrepreneurs. And it doesn't matter what level of business or what level of success that you're in to be on this program. We talk to people from a variety of different industries and a variety of different success levels. So tbsinterview.com. We want to hear your story in business. My guest today is Kayla Corbin. She's a franchise owner with College Nannies, Sitters, and Tutors, and she's here with us today based in Tampa, Florida. So Kayla, welcome to the program today.
Thank you, Jamie.
So tell us a little bit about this business, College Nannies, Sitters, and Tutors.
Well, it's a franchise, and it's we're now in over 145 different locations or franchisees there are. And what really just drew me to this franchise is their model, which is their brand promise, which is building stronger families. I can really embody that. So really what we do is we provide nanny, sitter, and tutor, as the name implies, services. We're really from cradle to college, cover our services from cradle to college. And we start with our nanny services, which is a family one-to-one, and then our on-call sitter services are where you would just pull from our pool of sitters.
Okay, so you're the franchise owner. Again, the business is called College Nannies, Sitters, and Tutors. So I take it that you're out there looking for college-aged people to basically to act as the sitters and the nannies and tutors. Is that where the name the College Nannies comes from, or is that just part of the name and you take people from all age categories for nannies and sitters?
We do. The name actually originates from the founder, Joe Keeley. He developed this concept, this model, when he was in college himself. He was able to be a nanny for two young boys who had an interest in hockey, as he did himself. And so he went through, for about 7 years, he was their nanny. And so he took great pride in that. And this kind of blossom from there, the whole College Nannies and Tutors. But really what that means is that we are college educated sitters, nannies, role models is what we call them, whether you're a nanny, sitter, or a tutor, but college-age role models that are working with college-bound kids. Okay,
I'm glad you explained that, because when I read the website, I'm thinking that this is catering to people of college age to act as nannies and sitters, but really this is college-educated people from all walks of life, all age levels that can come in and then act as a nanny, sitter, or a tutor. Nannies and sitters, those seem to be one and the same thing. Can you explain the difference between a nanny and a sitter?
Sure. A nanny is going to be more of a one-to-one relationship with the family to the nanny. So a nanny is going to be very meticulously chosen for that family based on that family's needs, their children's age, what the interests are for those children, if there's any special needs there with that, and then the parents' expectations as it comes to how they want their children to experience those hours that they're with the nanny. Okay. And so that's the nanny. It's, like I said again, one-to-one. The sitter experience is our on-call sitter, and that's actually driven through a mobile app. Okay. So yeah, it's quite interesting. So most of our communication and scheduling does work through that mobile app, and it's just as it says, on call. It's very Uber-like, actually, although they don't show up in 10 minutes.
What type of lead time do you need then for the typical nanny or sitter?
Yeah, you would need at least 4 hours lead time in order to use the app. If you needed anything less than that, you would need to give me a call, and then I could.
So what's the best way to communicate with you? And again, you're based in the Clearwater area, correct?
That's correct.
For your services, collegenannies.com or collegenanniesandtutors.com, the website, people can use that. But how do you advise people to communicate with you for nanny and sitter services?
Well, you can go to our website, which you just mentioned, which is collegenanniesandtutors.com, and you can inquire there for a family or even apply for a role model position. If you could also pick up the phone and give me a call.
What's your phone number?
It's 727-674-0277.
Okay, and right now the business is a new venture for you, and have you built it up? Are you still looking for the nannies and the sitters? Talk to me about your need for service providers.
Right. So right now we're actually doing very well with sitting on our sitters.
Sitting on your
Yeah.
sitters, okay.
So we've got plenty of role models, and I've got some tutors on staff as well. But that's doing well. It's kind of an inching game because we want to keep everybody happy that works with us. So we have to have our role models meet what our demand is for our families. So we are really charging up our search for families at the moment.
Families, okay, so it's good. A new franchise, you come in. That's the thing about franchises. It's a ready-made model that business owners can step into. And you've been a business owner before. What attracted you to the franchise model for college nannies, sitters, and tutors?
That's an interesting question. I actually, when I started looking for a franchise that I wanted to purchase, because I knew this is part of my retirement plan, so I knew I wanted to have my own business and grow that into something that would let me not have to work at some point. Right. So I started looking at franchises, and I ran into a coach, Rick Bizio. Fantastic. Yeah. He was a wonderful, and I found him actually online, which I wasn't even looking for him, and he kind of came back through my way, and he was down in Santa Ana Maria Island, and so I found that quite interesting. He's just literally down the street from me from the World Wide Web. But anyway, he brought me several different franchises to evaluate, and I looked at them, and the thing that resonated with me about college nannies and tutors is I felt that it carried a level of professionalism, much like my previous career, which is a pharmacist. And also it was helping people. Right. It was helping people solve problems for themselves. And that's something I always prided myself with as a pharmacist, was that I tried to help my patients really understand how to take care of their health and the use of drugs, and maybe even getting off those drugs in some cases. So,
when did you make the move into the franchise business? How long has your business been open now?
I purchased the agreement or the territories back in November 16, okay. But I really have gotten started with the franchise here in March. Okay. Yes.
And talk to us about the development of, and this is kind of speaking to the franchise model in general. What went into once you signed the agreement? What went into? Was it pretty much ready to go? I mean, because when you build a business from scratch, you've got to start from nothing.
True, and that's one of the things I thought, well, I'm going to be avoiding that. There was a lot of work, and there still is a lot of work. So one of the first things they did is they send me a big binder, and it's got a single-page list of 12 to 14 different vendors that I need to get signed up with. And you're looking at that one list and you don't realize how much work that was going to be. Right. All the paperwork, and this has to you have to have the corporation in place before you can apply for the background checks, because I background check all of my role models.
But do you think you could have done the same thing without the franchise model? It's kind of what I want to understand.
No, I think that the franchise really does help you to bone up, because they've got the vendors that you will need to be in contact with. Some surprised me that I needed as part of my support for my business. So it did help that way a lot. I think if I had been growing organically, it would have moved along, but more slowly, because I would have kind of come upon those things that I needed to put whatever business it was in place.
And I imagine, it provided, in addition to having the ready-made model there, the website is optimized already for lead generation for you. And whenever you start a new business, you got to build your website, then it's got to get found. I was studying the website yesterday. It's right there, and I'm sure it's optimized for SEO. But talk to us about just lead generation behind this franchise model and how they help you.
It's really referral-based, word of mouth. It really does come down to that. So as I get started here in this area, I'm out pounding the pavement right now. I'm knocking door to door with people that can extend the use of after-hours care. Like, for instance, I'm looking at daycares at the moment, preschools, daycares. Right. So they have evenings, after hours, and weekends that families need care, and so I'm partnering with them. I'm doing some Google ads and some Facebook ads. My clientele seems to be a lot on Facebook they like the social media.
Yeah, a lot of people are having good results from Facebook advertising. It's where a lot of the people spend their time, even when they shouldn't be. They're on Facebook, on the
You
Facebook
get really
ads.
sucked in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've talked about that on the number of times on the program, the different social media outlets and which ones to advertise on. And a lot of people are moving away from the Google ads for Facebook, seeing better returns on that. And we've also discussed LinkedIn on the program as well. So for listeners out there who want to review some past shows, we've went into great lengths discussing that before. Age range for working with people. Their child has to be a certain age before they can use your services. How does that come into play with college nannies, sitters, and tutors?
Yeah, actually, they don't. We have newborns, moms calling us with newborns for nannies right away. So we've got young babies, that are just a few weeks old.
Isn't it a challenge? And I'm somebody who's never had a child, but finding somebody to sit for a child up to like 6 months, it can be a challenge, right? Even with daycare too, correct?
Yeah, you'd be surprised, actually. I have a lot of my girls have had younger siblings, and so are very familiar with growing up, kids growing in all those stages of age as they grow. So, and then I've got mothers that are my role models as well. So yeah, but yeah, it can be challenging. I mean, I've had a child myself, and I don't want to hold a 6-month-old. It's not entirely true.
Having children still scares me. I don't know. I'm 39 and I haven't had any children yet, so I don't know if I ever will. But it's not an area that I understand a whole lot of. But I do see a lot of challenges.
Oh, you should do it. It's a great journey.
I got to find a girl first.
Oh,
so that's another one of my problems. But that's a talking point for a whole other show right there. So we're going to take a break. When I come back from the break, I want to talk with you about how you vet the people that you're putting in other people's homes. It's going to be a big concern with that. Also talk to you a little bit about your background in pharmacy and how you came into becoming a franchise owner with College Nannies, Sitters, and Tutors. So again, talking to Kayla Corbin, who is now the franchise owner in the Clearwater area for College Nannies, Sitters, and Tutors. Learn more at collegenanniesandtutors.com or give her a call 727-674-0277. 727-674-0277. You're listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Welcome back to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. New episodes each weekday morning at 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com, available on demand 24/7 on iTunes and on YouTube. My guest today is Kayla Corbin. She is the franchise owner with College Nannies, Sitters and Tutors. Learn more at collegenanniesandtutors.com, based in the Clearwater area. But your services, do they go outside the Clearwater area? What is your coverage range? Talk to me a little about that.
Pretty much Pinellas County. So I'm up in, I actually have Palm Harbor and Clearwater, and do quite a bit of business down in St. Pete's.
Okay.
So,
all right. So it doesn't matter. You're in Clearwater, but anywhere in Pinellas County, which encompasses, St. Petersburg, Dunedin, Tarpon Springs, all of that stuff. Do you ever come across the bridge into Tampa?
Absolutely, we do.
That bridge is some type of mental separator for some people. For people that aren't in Tampa Bay, they won't understand that. But there's a big long bridge that separates Pinellas County from Tampa Bay, or from Hillsborough and Tampa. Some people don't cross that bridge so for whatever reason, and that's why I ask if you cross the bridge and come over to Tampa.
I've kind of noticed it. There's another franchise, College Nannies, Sitters and Tutors. There's two more actually in the Tampa Bay area. There's one in West Chase, and then Lithia and Valrico as well. So we're working together, the three of us. But as we go and look at different marketing options, I'm thinking, I don't think Tampa Bay people are exactly the same as Pinellas County people.
It is. It's a different
I think
environment.
It's a different.
It is. But altogether, it comprises Tampa Bay. Sometimes you can't get across that bridge, though. There's so many accidents on the Howard Franklin, which is that bridge's name, that separates us, and maybe that's part of the problem, where people just don't even want to deal with that bridge. But a lot of business to be had between both Pinellas and Hillsborough County, encompassing the Tampa Bay region. Now let's talk about what you do in terms of bringing on a new service provider. You're putting people into their these homes of people. You're trusting parents are trusting their with their most precious asset, their children. What goes into vetting people when they come into your business?
Well, all of our role models are background checked. Once they're selected, then they're background checked, and then they are fully screened, and with at least two different experiences that they've had, and they're also trained. So we start with an orientation training of what our business model looks like, and what that delivery of care should look like for each family as you go out, and then there's ongoing training as well.
What type of experience, or do you require experience up front? Is the nanny and sitter business the type of business that a lot of people come into without experience? I know a lot of teenage girls go into that.
Right.
It's their first job. Go babysit. Is that what you see a lot of in terms of people who want to work for you?
Not with us.
Okay.
No. We actually have experienced babysitters that come on board with us, and we wouldn't hire an unexperienced.
Mm-hmm.
Those that you're talking about unexperienced are usually your next door neighbors.
Right.
And in addition, they're under 18 because they're in high school. Our sitters have to be at least 18 because we background check.
Okay.
That's law.
Okay. And how many different service providers do you have currently? What's your goal in terms of your network of service providers?
When you say service providers,
the
what
people
exactly?
that your sitters,
My
the people that,
families?
Yeah, the people that are going out there. Yes.
Oh, my role models.
Yes.
Boy, I would love to have that. Is based on how many families we have. So, and then that would delegate how many role models we need.
What about children with special needs? Are you able to cater to families that have children with special needs?
We are actually. I'm really proud of our bank of, I call them a bank, but I'm really proud of our bank of role models that we have right now. We've got a few of them that do sign language. We have those that have experience with special needs children, as well as behavioral difficulties, and then we've got also role models that have juggled many kids at one time. So we really do have a good range of what we can service.
Now, your background is a pharmacist.
It is,
and
yes.
myself, I was talking with you before the break. I went into chemistry in college, and I asked you how you got through organic chemistry, and you said the only reason I survived it was because of the curve, and she led the curve in her class. So you were the person that was messing up my overall grade. I ended up with like a C-, which is what I needed to get. But how did you? First off, do you miss the days of pharmacy? Are you still working in pharmacy to any degree? And why go from pharmacy to a completely unrelated industry?
Good question again. No, I don't miss it. at all. And actually I had quite an interesting experience, in my opinion, as a pharmacist, because I didn't always count pills or sit at a computer in the hospital or anything like that. For the first 15 years, I was more of a, I counted pills. That's count, lick, stick, and pour is what we called it. Regardless of whether you're in the hospital or in the retail setting, that was what we called it. I did that. I was kind of a freelance there as well. I just always wanted to be helping and supporting people, and that was, I found that going in and relieving a pharmacist who's been overworked for the last month was just, that was a treat for me, because they were really happy, and it was always a party when I came. Me and the techs would be like, let's eat lunch out. And but then after that I went into consulting, and I started working in the field where I was implementing clinical software in hospitals during the 2000s, when we were converting all of our hospitals to the electronic medical record. So I knew as I got into that field, that part of the field was going to change. And I'd grown kind of into a position in the pharmacy world where going back to counting pills is probably not most desirable. And not only that, I'm not real desirable to them either, because I'm out of the habit of counting by fives. So anyway, so I've been kind of planning for this. Actually, not kind of. I've been planning for this for the last 8 years, saving and executing myself towards this goal. So the fact that I'm in College Nannies, Sitters, and Tutors itself wasn't necessarily in the cards, but owning a business was.
Right. And so what other franchises did you consider? Or you looked at the whole franchise environment. Did you want something with childcare, or was it just you were attracted to the franchise business in general at first?
It was the business model. I was actually at Tampa Bay Business Owners, a meeting there, and when the Painting with a Twist folks came in, I was sitting in the front row, and I'd been pondering, what business should I start? And nothing, I figured it'd come to me organically, and nothing was coming organically. And I was like getting very frustrated with myself. So I'm sitting there in the front row, and I'm like, duh, why hadn't I thought of this, you know? I can go out and look at business models. So I started looking on the internet, reevaluating the Painting with a Twist. And that's where I ran into Rick Bizio. And because I started educating myself, when I realized there's over 3,000 different franchises you can choose from when choosing a franchise. Yes. And I thought, whoa, I don't want to pick one, knowing that maybe the one that I really should have had was over here. So I found a coach that worked with me in terms of cash I had, cash flow I'm looking for, what the goals of the business were, what I was looking for from a professional's perspective, and all of that. So he brought 3 back to me, and I chose College Nannies and Tutors.
From a parent's perspective, another question I may have is, how does insurance come into play? Do you have insurance in the event of, an accident at the home with the family?
Yes.
How does insurance come into play?
Yes, I do. I am insured. My sitters are insured when they're there. It's the They're full employees of mine, so I take care of workman's comp, insurance, and their taxes. And then, with that said, too, there's never an exchange of cash at the door when the sitters are done. It's all done through our application. So when I think that's a huge plus, because I remember having to figure out, like, finding the exact change or the exact right. dollars to pay the sitter at the end of the night.
Yeah, well, I mean, the babysitting business has always been kind of a cash business. That's where people get their start and make a quick $20 for the night. But this franchise model is coming along and made it much more business professional, and that's the model of College Nannies, Sitters, and Tutors. Now, coming from the pharmacy business into the franchise life, what were some of the unexpected things that may have happened to you in this transition? Maybe some of the challenges, or some of the things you didn't expect, or some of the things that you have come to like about this new direction in your life?
Okay, well, first off, one of the things that really challenged me continues to is the marketing part. And I can sit around and have good ideas all day, and I just find that standing up and executing is where I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. It becomes overwhelming to me. And I laugh and I say, as a pharmacist, people just came to me. So I had the drugs. They just come to me. I don't need to go out and try to get people to come into my pharmacy. Whereas this is more of an education, I see. educating people, because we are a premier child care service.
Right.
You know, when you come on board with us, you become one of our family. And so you have an access to all of my on-call sitters. Plus, if you have a nanny, you still have access to that for those nights, like if a date night or a weekend when your nanny isn't normally scheduled.
Right.
And when something should happen where you're the sitter can't make it for some reason, or the nanny has to take a week off for holiday, that becomes my issue, not yours. It's so you've got that peace of mind that you're always set for a sitter. And in fact, that's our tagline, one of our taglines.
Well, marketing is a challenge of myself, a challenge of everybody, because it's, you know, we're sometimes you just feel like another fish in the sea, and then it's just, you know, that's where I talk about, you know, referrals are really the key source of developing a good business, and that comes from just networking, getting out in the community, and becoming an influencer within your community. I mean, you can pay for the ads, you can run the billboards, you can run the TV ads. Those help, but at the end of the day, it's those referrals that really sustain yourself and your business. Got about another minute and a half left or so. 5 years from now, where do you want to be in this business?
5 years from now, I would really like to be buying my next franchise territory out west somewhere. That's where I'm originally from, and my family's still there, and which includes my son. And I'm kind of on a hall pass right now. I came out here and I bought our vacation home, and then, but I'd like to grow it into a family business and be where I can be bi-coastal. So that's kind of my dream.
All right. Well, Kayla Corbin, franchise owner with College Nannies, Sitters, and Tutors, based here in the Tampa Bay region, specifically over in Pinellas County. If you use her services, reach out to her, 727-674-0277. Again, 727-674-0277, or visit collegenanniesandtutors.com. So, Kayla, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Jamie. I've enjoyed this.
And again, all shows available on demand and on iTunes, and find us new episodes each weekday morning at 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com. You've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.